After Saturday's success against Scotland, the old enemy, England, up against opposition that we might call the new enemy. Opponents that have been a very difficult obstacle to overcome in more recent times. In the last 8 years, these two nations have met 5 times. England have won none of those meetings, nor have they ever defeated the Dutch in European Championship or World Cup encounters. Hello again, everyone. Decision time in Group A. England are unchanged for the 3rd time in a row, and that's remarkable in itself. It's not happened since the mid-1970s. Paul Ince and Tony Adams have been able to put aside their injury problems, though Jamie Redknapp, an effective substitute against Scotland, is out of contention tonight with a twisted ankle. But it is expected that England will revert to a 4-man defence. That's the way Scotland played and shut out the Dutch at the start of the group. Guus Hiddink has shown a firm hand in sending home Edgar Davids on a point of discipline, but Davids' close friend Clarence Seedorf stays in the side with perhaps responsibilities for quashing the threat of Paul Gascoigne. So it is the same 11 who started against Switzerland. Well, the situation is quite clear in one respect. A draw equals qualification for both teams. The referee is the man regarded as Austria's finest, Gerd Grabherr. Amongst the England substitute is the name of David Platt, who's been troubled by a rib injury but fit enough to be considered if required later on tonight. Guaranteed a place in the quarter-final here. A loser will be anxiously awaiting news of the game that's going on simultaneously at Villa Park between Switzerland. Of Paul Gascoigne, who's shown him some tremendous hospitality at the weekend, laying on a stretch limousine for he and some of his teammates. There was no hospitality out here on the pitch tonight. Jordi Cruyff, Seedorf gets there before McManaman. Hoekstra trying to send in the cross. He's got too much on it. Well, David Seaman, one of England's major heroes against Scotland, he called his penalty save the greatest moment of his professional career. The first England goalkeeper to save a penalty here at Wembley, incidentally, in an international since 1959. Puts it into some sort of context for you. Gascoigne's challenge. And here's Shearer suddenly in some space. Sheringham in the centre, pulling to the far post. It doesn't get that far. Van der Sar able to make a straightforward catch. Winter. Bergkamp, who's been a thorn in England's side in 2 matches in the World Cup qualifiers where England failed to make it to the USA, of course, and the Dutch did. Bergkamp scored here at Wembley at a crucial stage when England were leading 2-0, and it finished 2-2. And he also scored in Rotterdam past David Seaman. So an early chance for the Dutch. Ronald de Boer is there, but Richard Witschke has paced out a run. And it is Witschke, kept on rising. A player who jogs past Alan Shearer there, and they were together very briefly with Blackburn Rovers at a spell just over a year ago. Witschke was on loan for Blackburn. He played just 1 game in England's Premiership. The players treated again to the billiard table top, that is the pitch at Wembley Stadium. And if you've been hearing suggestions that the two teams might just see it through tonight and take a point apiece, I'm not so sure about that. The Dutch want to stay at Wembley as well. for the quarter-final. To do that, they've got to beat England tonight. And I just feel the position as runners-up in the group is something of a mixed blessing. A quarter-final at Anfield against France now, who've confirmed their position today. France, of course, on a tremendous unbeaten run. Here's De Boer. Bergkamp. Also, the Dutch are very happy in their team hotel down in the south of England. They don't want to up sticks and go to the north. Here's Reisiger. There's been nothing tense and cautious about this start from Guus Hiddink's Holland team. Shearer, 2 goals in 2 games, of course, but Bojada in his own way has been very impressive for Holland as well. Pretty much a new recruit to international football. Certainly at the start of this season he hadn't played for his country, but he's looked the part, although he has been penalised here. And he keeps Shearer in his sights again. Southgate. The movement on the left comes from Darren Anderton for England. Gascoigne and Shearer together in the centre. Gascoigne had actually lost track of his mark as Shearer had taken them away, but the ball was too deep for him. Anderton trying to pick out England's golden boy with a golden pass. Haven't seen the best of Darren Anderton yet in this competition, but of course he was the player who supplied Gascoigne with the ball for the brilliant goal that actually meant a lot in the context of this group. It put England above Holland on goals scored. The goal difference equal going into tonight's encounter. Gary Neville. Sheringham. Anderton. Now Shearer. Pearce thrusting forward down the England left. Well ahead of the ball still. Southgate. Bergkamp doing some chasing back. And doing some very good tackling back. It's Gascoigne in powerfully to a great reception. At times he's a crack shot, at times I suppose he's a crack pot. But that's the engaging mix that is Paul Gascoigne for England. McManaman. First real scare for Holland, and it came from Alan Shearer. Pearce. Vichka's only popped it down for Sheringham. Gascoigne. And now Aaron Winter finds Geordie, whose father I can remember playing here almost 20 years ago and absolutely dominating a match between Holland and England at Wembley, which the Dutch won 2-0. He was really in his pomp then, Johan Cruyff. That's Reisiger's pass, and it's a useful one. Southgate has to get his head in, and Winter settles for the corner. And they're getting it away, not just from the line, but away from Adams as well. It was a sensible clearance by the player who's now going to take the corner for Holland. And they've really packed in around David Seaman, and well, you could see the benefit in that. That was Winter, part of a group of Dutch players right in that goal area. Been a very defined shape of play for Holland under Guus Hiddink in this tournament, modelled along the Ajax lines. And England trying to break it up a bit, and it's noticeable that Sheringham's dropping a long, long way. Well, if he's going to do that and play some passes from midfield, he's got to play them with a bit more precision. Bergkamp, his club colleague at Arsenal, Tony Adams, got the ball and also got a free kick. England have taken it quickly, and Shearer, who's so much more displaying the form that's been so consistent with his club, Blackburn Rovers. And it's not as though he's been disinterested in the long campaign of almost insignificant build-up games for England, none of them competitive in the sense of points to be played for. But he certainly hasn't been successful in those games. But when it's mattered, he's found his best condition and his best form. And with 10 minutes gone, he's the closest to providing a goal at either end. Holland and the Republic of Ireland did declare something of a truce with, 20 minutes or so to go in a World Cup group game in similar circumstances in 1990. I suppose if we get to that stage in the match level, there might be a little less intensity about it. That's certainly not the state at the moment. Also, Scotland's hopes resting on a double of a good England win and a victory for themselves against the Swiss. Sheringham, Ince. That's good play from England, although the Dutch have got plenty back. McManaman trying to find a way through. Anderton has started to come infield. He's come into the melee, really. Gascoigne trying to find an area of space, and Sheringham as well. They've worked it to Neville. And the cross had Alan Shearer looking back in some disappointment towards Gary Neville, who acknowledged the error. This is Shearer. Well, the Austrian referee believed that the ball ricocheted back onto Alan Shearer, but I think it might have come back onto Reisiger. Couldn't have been difficult to see from the official's angle, to be fair to him. England a little concerned that Alan Shearer picked up a yellow card in the game against Scotland against his clubmate Colin Hendry. Neville can let that run. Well, the England fans in the majority here, you'd expect that. But the supporters wearing the orange have been in great voice outside the stadium. And I'm sure many more of them actually in the Wembley area than have tickets for this particular game. Jordan. Well, it couldn't have been offside by very much. Just looking around at Seedorf, he's really just anchoring the midfield rather than following Gascoigne everywhere. And maybe England partly responsible for that, because Gascoigne is not using just the centre circle as his area of operation. Sheringham. Impeded by Winter. Temperatures a little cooler in England this evening. And some clouds in the bluish skies today. The Dutch are a bit disappointed about that. They feel that England's way of playing takes more energy, and they were hoping for high temperatures. Shearer. Got Pearce for company. Pearce's cross has a bit of bend on it, but not enough to take it away from this beanpole of the goalkeeper, Van der Sar. Tall, slender character, but not so slight that he's going to be roughed out of it by Sheringham. Reiziger. So he's really one of three at the back tonight for Holland, with Danny Blind in the centre and Bochada. Witschke on one side and Winter on the other have got responsibilities for McManaman and Anderton. Ball from McManaman too quick, he realised that, and then he ducks under it to let England have the throw. Adams, who's had some harrowing times at the hands of Holland in the past, including being one of England's centre-backs the famous day Marco van Basten got a hat-trick in the European finals of 1988. The last hat-trick, incidentally, any player scored against England. Witschke has left an imprint on McManaman, and he's trying to talk his way out of trouble here, and he seems to have been successful in that respect. Richard Witschke has a booking, and he's saying he slipped, and I would say, well, I'm assuming he's saying he slipped because that's what he did. Slipped into McManaman rather than deliberately mowed him down. But the later stoppage gave England a free kick, very much in the centre of the pitch, taken by Pearce. Trying to locate the head of Shearer. The Edgar Davids situation, dramatic as it was, shouldn't be taken as too significant, I don't feel, judging Holland's mood tonight. In most major tournaments, they seem to come up with an internal crisis of some form, whether it's over how much money they should be paid, how many tickets they should get, whether they should be allowed to see their wives during the competition. There's always something to grumble about, but they do it in a matter-of-fact sort of way, and whatever the outcome, they usually get on with the game effectively. And they might well do here, as Bergkamp complained that he was being held by Southgate, and it was enough to get Chris Hiddink off his feet. It wasn't enough to get Bergkamp off his feet and down onto his knees, but it's a ball that England will have rehearsed the defending against, and they didn't do it very well done. Winter. Knocked forward by Geordie. Pearce, who was taken off at half-time in a tactical switch against Scotland. Adams, given some time. Everything very defined further forward. Gascoigne trying to create something different. Well, at least he's rattled Holland into conceding a throw. They'll be quite happy if that's all they have to concede. McManaman, Anderton. Well, he's caught by Winter, and the referee's going to take a sterner view of that, and that is going to be a yellow card. One up to Darren Anderton, this. The nutmeg through the opponent's legs. But most important, the caution recorded. It's Winter's first of the competition. Gascoigne takes the free kick. Oh, and down goes Sheringham inside the area. But the whistle only goes after the event. Not at the moment. Nothing intentional from Aaron Winter. Referee had a good position to see it. Sheringham didn't pursue the referee to pursue his claims, and shortly after that Holland got a free kick. But Winter, so soon after getting his yellow card, was under scrutiny again. Good solid defensive header from Southgate. He's having to learn about life in the international arena very quickly. Hoekstra, Witschke. Tony Blind, he played here in 1993 in that World Cup qualifier, because Ronald Koeman, the long-time incumbent in that position, was suspended then. Koeman left his mark in the return leg, I'm sure you remember that. England certainly do. Winter. And it runs off Adams. Seaman couldn't pick it up. I don't think it was intended as a back pass, but David Seaman couldn't take that risk. Here's Seedorf. Geordie getting the better of Anderton. Well, it hit Stuart Pearson, went behind for the corner. More evidence that this is not unfolding as a stale midfield battle. And that Holland have certainly come here to take on England, and if they can, try to beat them. It's another of those teasing corners. And finally, Paul Ince. Now, what's the referee going to do for Blind here? He's given him a yellow card. And the penalty will be taken by Alan Shearer. He's never taken one before for England. He's taken plenty in club football. So, celebrations around three-quarters of Wembley, shall we say. Just to put on a cautionary note for England followers, when England have been in front, which they've achieved in both games at 1-0, they have not looked convincing. Switzerland capitalised, Scotland should have done, and now Seaman has to come out and divert that away from Bergkamp. But the first blow tonight has been struck by Alan Shearer for England with a venomous shot from the penalty spot. But Holland have a corner, and they are a fine team, and now they've got to show it. Touched away by Sheringham. De Boer. Heading past Anderton. England coping with the cross. Winter. Danny Blind, who looked aghast when the Austrian referee pointed for the penalty. Well, the possession might be equal, but it's not so on the scoreline. Clever trick from Ince. And the outstretched knee, Ince went over. He didn't even look back, he was appealing with great confidence, and the referee supported his view. And the rest was down to Shearer, and he didn't fail his country. Sheringham. Gascoigne, delightfully done. Advantage played, and it's a good one, but Gascoigne wasted it. But still with his wits about him to give the thumbs up, maybe to Ince, maybe to the referee for letting the game go on. But Bergkamp, who is Dennis the Menace, that's his nickname, and he's certainly looking that way here. It's Seedorf from the edge of the area, and in any case, I think the linesman might have indicated an offside. Glum Dutch faces at the moment. Still a long way to go in this game. Clarence Seedorf, Edgar Davids' best pal in the Dutch squad. I think it's fair to say got embroiled in that particular dispute without speaking his mind so publicly. Was Hiddink has a dilemma. It's not that his team are playing particularly badly, though. Reisiger. What Terry Venables, the England coach, has been trying to do is breed some, if you like, more European control into the natural power and aggression of England's footballers, to play with their heads as well as their hearts. To that extent, he's achieved a certain amount. Just how much we'll perhaps know at the end of the tournament, maybe to an extent at the end of this match. De Boer. Seedorf. Bergkamp. Now Jordi Cruyff. McManaman with an awkward bounce and the distraction of Sheringham, but the two of them have solved the difficulties, and McManaman used an England corner. Well, there's no doubt the nation is behind the home team, and they're doing their best at the moment to repay that faith. Anderton's corner. Way. Pearce's header has only given the ball to Bergkamp because Gary Neville slipped, and there are three forward for Holland here. Gascoigne trying to get back to bolster England's resistance. Seedorf. Now Jordi Cruyff, and he scored, of course, in the last game from that sort of angle. All painful for Paul Ince. Almost half an hour gone at Wembley. Holland 0. England 1, England again officially the away team. Jordi. Bergkamp. And he's complaining. It's not really in his nature either. As Tony Adams was saying about him yesterday, Dennis Bergkamp is a true gentleman. He's certainly earned the respect of his fellow professionals during his year in England, both as a man as well as a footballer. As Adams said, tongue-in-cheek, and I stress tongue-in-cheek. It's a shame he's such a nice guy that I've got to go out and kick him for 90 minutes. Southgate. McManaman. Southgate again. Good play from England. They've moved the Dutch around. Ince. Gascoigne's got a channel to explore here, but Ince couldn't find him. Southgate played his part in some composed work at the back. Routines that England have been working on under Terry Venables, away from the public gaze, in many a training session over the past couple of years, to just try and stop the old-fashioned long ball forward. But there is a variety to the game. And of course, there's plenty of variety to Holland. Oh, that's a deflection from Bergkamp's shot, and well, it could have been worse for Seaman. He was scrambling, and it is a corner. Not quite the same policy from Holland this time. They haven't crowded the goal area. Pitchka has got his teammates coming in from deeper positions. And again, though, the one who got to it from a different starting point was Aaron Winter. His earlier header, well, he was just standing in almost under the shadow of the crossbar, but this time he made a move in, and once more England couldn't pick him up. Here's Bochada. Over Vichka. Gascoigne, whose general game perhaps wasn't particularly consistent against Scotland, but of course the goal and the glory of it took the headlines and took everyone's breath away. There he is with another brilliant flick. Sheringham back for Shearer, who was tracked very well by Bochada, and he needed to be. All coming from the improvisation from Gascoigne. The ability to catch the opposition on the wrong foot with a cheeky touch. Reisiger. Hoekstra. Now Seedorf. Trying to find Bergkamp. It's an astute header down for Ronald de Boer. Shot from Winter. Gascoigne slipped. Fell rather heavily. He's annoyed only with himself. Reisiger. Some defending for England to do here against Geordie. Anderton came in late. He's got long legs down, Anderton, but not long enough. Somebody might have grazed the ball from that angle, but the referee, looking at it from a different perspective altogether, couldn't possibly have seen that. And well, if Holland do score from this free kick, Anderton might have some views on it. Certainly within range. Pearce has just dropped back onto the line, trying to make them think he's come back out again. Seedorf, and it flies away for a corner. Corner that Clarence Seedorf has gone across to take himself. And Seaman fists it. And it was a pretty good try. Commendable effort by Bergkamp as the ball dropped and a defender closed. Needed to just wrap his foot round it a little bit more. Seaman through the crowd with the fist. Out came Southgate. And the power was there from Dennis Bergkamp. But it was just beyond him to get it back on target. Well, a good kick from Seaman. And another chance now from Ince's back pass, and Bergkamp, of course, has learnt a lot about David Seaman over the last year, working with him day in, day out. Sensed enough in the goalkeeper's touch on the ball. There might have been a chance for him to get in there and embarrass Seaman. Shearer over, hitting it for England. Reisiger. Here's Winter, who's been very much in this game, not always an automatic choice in the team, though he always, it seems, in the squad and has been for, well, 8 or 9 years now. But that was as good a moment as we've seen from Holland, and Reisiger was to the fore. And that's Southgate's mistake, and Bergkamp's in this time, and Seaman has stopped it. England's goalkeeper, a hero again here for the host nation. Southgate didn't connect strongly, and Bergkamp razor sharp as he's looked right from the first whistle tonight. But Seaman stood up, stuck out the left hand, and England still had their lead. Vichka will take the corner. That's good defending by Shearer at the front post. McManaman trying to get it down and get on with the game going forward, but Seedorf. Jordi Cruyff. Adams and Southgate between them, dealing with that thrust through the centre, but back come Holland again. Jordi again, Southgate away. And the balls are dropped out of a combination of Vichka and Ince. But it's a yellow card for Sheringham for the incident that left Bojada on the ground, which was off the ball. Well, after the ball had gone, shall we say. But England, if they had the initiative, don't have it anymore. Terry Venables will be pleased to see his team get through to half-time, still a goal to the good. We should remind you again of the context of this match, that a draw is enough for England to finish on top of the group. There's Brian Robson, maybe taking the opportunity just to pass a message to the players with Terry Venables seated in the stand. Holland have increased their output. Gascoigne. This is Ince, who's been suffering from a twisted ankle, but of course it was he who twisted past Danny Blind for the penalty. Southgate. Reisiger's gone across with Shearer. Well, the England supporters trying to rally the troops. Gascoigne! This is Anderton. It was Teddy Sheringham who'd gone in first and turned the ball across the face of the goal towards Darren Anderton. Coming from the long throw. A bit of a deflection on it from Gascoigne. Sheringham maybe hoping to go for goal himself, but certainly giving the Dutch a problem with any sort of touch. And here's Geordie. Bowled over by Ince. And now this is a problem for England, because Paul Ince gets his second card of the tournament. And if England reach the quarterfinals, he will be not eligible to play in it. And he's a very important figure for the side. Seedorf. Push by Bohada on Southgate. I can remember Ince being suspended before in the World Cup group that Holland were also in. He missed a crucial match in Norway, which England lost 2-0, and his influence was conspicuously absent. And of all the England players, he has been the most prone to get in trouble in that way with referees. Pearce. He also began his international career with a couple of yellow cards, which had people at the time suggesting he'd never really establish himself. Well, he's given the lie to that. Reisiger. Seedorf. And that's belted against Bergkamp by Neville, and well, I must say that looked a very strange decision, but I'm a lot further away from it than the referee. And is it possible that even Gary Neville himself didn't realise that the ball took a little touch off him? But England very unhappy about the awarding of the corner. And look at the corner count. Well, it was turned on by Hoekstra's flick, and that could have been devastating in itself. It's only led to another corner. We're in stoppage time at the end of the first half. And England really on the back foot as the half draws to a close. Combination of Ince and the goalkeeper. Back to Richard Vichka. Neville's header. Gascoigne doesn't want to just whack it forward. Sheringham will do though. But it's a chase on for McManaman. And Van der Sar slews the ball up in the air and not out of play. That was recognised by Gascoigne, who I think if he'd got the ball unattended by a defender would have had a chance of trying from really a bleak angle to beat the goalkeeper, who was still struggling to get back. Hoekstra. Alan Shearer at the midpoint for the first 45 minutes. But the last 15 minutes, the Dutch have looked very, very dangerous indeed. And but for David Seaman, particularly in the one-on-one with Dennis Bergkamp, Terry Venables' team would not have a lead to enjoy. You could see the head coach deep in thought then. So on a night when England only need to draw to top Group A at half-time at Wembley, they lead Holland by 1-0. Richard Vichka. He's moved into the back line. So England ready to set off for the second half looking to defend this 1-0 advantage. A lead that looked very precarious as the first half came to a close, but up to perhaps the last 15 minutes of the half. Terry Venables, one would have thought, would have been very pleased with the way England began this game. The polish in their play, emphasised by the goal that came during that period. Remember, they've won none of the last 5 meetings with Holland and only one of the last 8, and that was a pretty meaningless friendly here at Wembley before the 1982 World Cup finals. Meaningless for the Dutch, not so much for England. So here's Geordie. Bergkamp through the centre, but England have a player down, and it's Teddy Sheringham. Whether he's hurt or whether he's just doing up a boot, looks more likely to be the latter. The referee checking, and who's hitting? Who was a much travelled player in his day, actually ended up in the United States as a roommate of the great George Best for a period when they were together at San Jose. I should imagine he's got a tale or two to tell. Vinter. Nicely done by Seedorf. Reiziger. Someone trying to pick up where they left off when the half-time whistle went. Geordie. It's a difficult defensive header for Adams to come up with. And it's Gascoigne who half volleys it away. Flew quickly at McManaman. Sheringham was back on his heels. I don't think he ever realised that there was any chance of getting there, and possibly there wasn't. Here's Danny Blind. Cross comes Adams. Still feeling that damaged knee. He had surgery in January. It's been a long recuperation process. Now Patrick Kluivert with the hands together momentarily in prayer. Would be perhaps a candidate, as he has been in the other 2 group games for Holland, to come on during the second half to just free Bergkamp from the prime central striking role, although Bergkamp has looked very, very sharp today, as we've pointed out on more than one occasion. McManaman. Shearer almost in his space, really. Now trying to get out of the road. And then McManaman gives him the ball. Oh, that's behind Ince. It was a poor ball from Shearer. Southgate tried to make some good out of it. Geordie. Adams just got a touch. He'd gone to his left a long way to follow the run of Bergkamp. Seedorf. Blind. Last time Holland played here, they were 2-0 down to England and finished 2-2, a last-minute penalty. It meant a lot in the context of the World Cup qualifying group in which the match was being played. It's back in 1993. Seedorf. Shearer. Some good strength and possession from Darren Anderton. He squeezes a pass to Sheringham on for McManaman. Gascoigne to take the corner. England have the perfect start to the second half, and you can hear the Wembley roar again, and this time the name that is in their acclaim is Teddy Sheringham. Finter. Well, they're wearing the white and red with pride, the England supporters. Look at the height on the corner. And look on the direction of the header. And the Van der Sar must have been unsighted. Didn't carry any deadly pace, it seems, Sheringham's header. So after a run of opportunities when luck wasn't on his side, Teddy Sheringham is amongst the scorers in Euro '96. Bergkamp. Here's Ronald de Boer, past Adams to Jordi Cruyff. Showed too much of it to Pearce, who stumbled, and that's why Cruyff got back into it. And Stuart Pearce is never one to pull out of a physical confrontation, but he was coming in to be second best there because he lost his balance earlier. And it's a free kick to Holland. Going to be a test now of their ice-cool temperament to play the sort of control football that Terry Venables admires so much. He's talked at length about Holland's qualities in all the pre-tournament interviews, and my goodness, there have been hundreds of those for all the coaches, but particularly for the coach of the host nation. Gascoigne going a hunting in midfield, didn't get there. Ronald de Boer, good forward run from Seedorf. De Kock. Now Blind. De Boer at pace. Hoekstra also at pace. And Adams using his own speed to be England's defensive prop again. Ronald de Boer quickened the tempo. Well, having just scored from a corner, England will be very anxious not to concede from the same. And got past Shearer, but not past Adams. Headed forward by Blind. Torpedoing in was Ince. Blind again. Then de Kock. Reisiger. Bochada. This is Hoekstra. Good trickery, and Jordi Cruyff was a bit guilty then of watching the ball and not getting in on the play. Seedorf! Bit of swirl, a lot of dip, a bit of bounce for Seaman to deal with. Also coming through the crowd as well, whether the swerve was caused by the deflection off Ince. This is Alan Shearer. McManaman. England's throw. 10 minutes gone in the second half. England have doubled their advantage. A long throw from Neville. It's a very long throw. It's come all the way through to the goalkeeper. And Reisiger roars out with the ball. Gascoigne taking over from Adam. Lead 3-0. Hoekstra. Well, I can't recall hearing such noise at Wembley for an England international for many, many a year. who's hitting, and his team are on the receiving end. Seedorf. Given away by De Boer. Bit short from McManaman. De Boer tries again. Seedorf tries again. Danny Blind. Geordie. And that's what happens, however good you are, when the game goes against you. The tension is there, the touch isn't there in the passing. Well, some of those wide-eyed looks amongst the England fans, and not just in celebration, they're in total disbelief. Owen Sheringham nearly given the ball again, deep into Dutch territory. Vinter. Seedorf. This is McManaman. Neville looking for Sheringham. Bit of a buffeting from de Kock, who was presumably brought on to try and help bolster things at the back for the Dutch. But they've gone from bad to worse. Blind. Bojada has done well against Neville. Looks for Bergkamp in the middle. Stuart Pearce meets it, not with the right foot, which would have been maybe the technical way to get it away, but he can wield his left well in those difficult circumstances, and he got enough on it to get it out for a throw. But great work down the Dutch left from Bojada. Gascoigne. McManaman is onside. Bojada is such a fine athlete. He asked a lot of the goalkeeper with the back pass, but he showed great sprinting ability, and that's Blind getting it into Seedorf. Ince committed himself and is well out of position. He tried to nick it, and there are a lot of Dutch players forward here. This is Hoekstra trying to get it through the crowd. Seedorf won't run for Bergkamp. Pearce takes an extra touch. Sheringham, Adams, Gascoigne. Look at this play from England. Out to McManaman. Southgate being told to steer it back to Seaman. Jordy Cruyff. Seedorf. Bergkamp has found the channel here, but not the shot. England just even with a 3-goal cushion. Can't switch off for a second. But this is how the 3-goal cushion came. Shearer screaming for it, Sheringham recognising. We're 17 minutes into the second half at Wembley. In those 17 minutes, England have added 3 to the first half penalty from Shearer. This is some performance. Well, just for the record, and it's by no means comparable to what we're seeing tonight, England did get 5 once under Terry Venables, 2 years ago against Greece, who were preparing, if that's the right word, judging by that performance on that particular night for the World Cup in the United States. England won it at a canter. It would be unfair to say this has been a canter. Holland have pushed them hard and had chances. But look at the gap between the two teams now. But here's Jordy Cruyff. Pearce is there. And to think, some people were saying we get a sterile, cautious affair where the two teams would agree to play it out for a draw. Well, for the Dutch to get a draw, it's got to be 4 goals in, 26 minutes. They've had plenty of corners. So 2 for Shearer, 2 for Sheringham, if you found it hard to keep up with the scoring. Teddy Sheringham has doubled his tally of England goals tonight. And the other issue, of course, at stake here is, should Scotland beat Switzerland and Holland not make any inroads into the goal deficit, it could be not just a great night for England, but a great night for Britain. Play on. Pearce might get spoken to after that late tackle when the ball finally goes dead. Austrian referee hasn't really given us any clues with his body language about that. Oh, look at the room from De Boer's pass for Bergkamp. But that's the difference between the teams. England have been absolutely ruthless in front of the Dutch goal. Like a good goal for Bergkamp replaces the divot. But like well, a good footballer wouldn't have produced a divot at that stage. It's unfair on Bergkamp. Of course, he's a great player, but the particular stress that the Dutch are feeling at the moment is leading to all sorts of errors, and there might be more stress to come. Anderton trying to find Shearer. The clock sticks out a foot. Sheringham with a back heel that Adams perhaps didn't totally appreciate. It nearly went to Bergkamp. De Boer, Bergkamp might have gone offside. He's checked, allowing Jordy Craig to come onto it. It's a good ball. Hoekstra. A lot in orange in the centre. Rise again. Tackled out of it by Anderton. Shearer, Gascoigne looking for Anderton. For McManaman rather, down the left. Down he goes. And it's a booking for Bergkamp, who was pressed into defensive service then. So England have a free kick. And for every English football fan, it's great to be alive tonight. As they watch the supporters lucky enough to be in the stadium. But Gascoigne, who tries something from the realms of for the extravagant. It's going to be an England substitution. Now Paul Ince, who will of course miss the quarter-final. That's been just one glitch for England tonight. And David Platt, sore ribs and all, comes on with a quarter of the game left. Now is he going to take on the holding role? He's played it in the past with his clubs in Italy. Gascoigne had to feel for that one. Bochade. It's Hoekstra. Oh, it's gone through to Jordy Craig. Pearce got his challenge in. England trying to read the spin. Sheringham back for Pearce. And a massive clearance Well, it's not been a complete lockout by England at the back, although they haven't conceded a goal. And at this level, when you're dealing, as we've said throughout the tournament, with the competition bar a couple of South American giants worthy of the World Cup itself. I hope that isn't meant to give offence to any other part of the world. But this is a top-notch tournament where there are going to be teams just capable of winning games, and if England played Holland 10 times, well, you wouldn't expect this to happen again. Maybe you wouldn't expect it to happen again if they played each other 100 times, but it's happening tonight. Vinter. Good pressing by Anderton. Tugging by Platt on Seedorf. Seedorf, who went to Sampdoria when Platt left to return to England and Arsenal. Arsenal connections everywhere tonight. Ronald de Boer, Jordi Cruijff. Vinter gave it to Sheringham, which wasn't what he wanted. Shearer, McManaman through the middle. Bojada again has got back. No flag. And Adams beats Bergkamp just. De Boer. Adams there again. Hoekstra, Seedorf. Alan Shearer had gone into a deeper position then to try and help. Gascoigne's got to be careful. That was had it really connected. A yellow card inducing challenge. Bergkamp. Holland feeling they've got to get a goal in case the worst happens to them in the other game. Their goal difference in shreds now after this 4-goal blast from England. Oh, nearly 5-goal blast. That was Anderton. It's all fallen into place for England tonight. A massive performance, a massive scoreline. On comes Kluivert for De Boer. On comes Philippe Cocu for Hoekstra, we think. Kluivert certainly on. Hoekstra gets the hook. "18 minutes to go." Well, at least Kluivert can get some more time in the middle. So that's the end of the changes available to Guus Hiddink. Pearce, look at the linesman. Shearer bent his run well, but the defending that time on the cock was efficient. Well, you can feel confident enough to say at this stage that England will be staying at Wembley for the quarter-final against Spain. For that not to happen, Holland would have to score 5 in a little over a quarter of an hour. What one is not so confident to talk about is With the Dutch having to pack their bags from their hotel in the south of England, whether they'll be packing their bags for a match at Anfield or whether they'll be packing their bags for home. What is happening simultaneous to this at Villa Park is a big consideration. Gascoigne, it's Platt trying to catch out the Dutch with a forward run. Cocu. Jordi taking on Pearce. Southgate trying to cover, Platt trying to cover as well. It's still cut back for Bergkamp. They're lining up here. It's Kluivert's shot. It's that sort of night for Holland. Those sort of chances have been ruthlessly finished by England. Holland only have another corner. And it's stuffed over the top by Bergkamp. I just wonder if there was a hand raised in there. But the referee didn't show any signs of spotting. Let's take another look here. Well, it was, but it wasn't near the ball from Bojada. England are thinking ahead now. Alan Shearer has a quarter-final to consider. Remember, he had a yellow card from the Scotland game, so there's sense in changing it now. And Nick Barmby is on. And also waiting for his entry is Liverpool's young dynamo, Robbie Fowler. And it is Sheringham who goes as well to a similar ovation. Robbie Fowler, who scored 36 goals in all competitions in the season just finished for Liverpool. It's his fourth appearance at senior international level. He was in the European Championship under-18 winning team for England back in 1993, when in the final stages they also beat Holland emphatically. So Fowler will play right up front in the Shearer role, and Barmby will play off him in the Sheringham role. Reisiger. Holland fighting for their lives here. They've not got a free kick. They've not got a corner. And Reisiger has had an earful from Stuart Pearce. Look how late the fall was. Pearce saw that rather better initially than we did, but the referee saw it. Anderton. Free kick against him. Jordi. And with 13 minutes left, Kluivert makes one count. Southgate. Here's Fowler. And it hasn't produced great joy for the Holland supporters. Kluivert, of course, whose goals brought Holland into this tournament. That's Fowler. England trying to re-establish themselves straight away. The cock. England regroup. Blint. Reisiger. No surprise that Bergkamp was involved in the goal. So, blame cannot be laid at his door tonight. Although, of course, he had the chance to make it 1-1. That was a significant moment in the match. McManaman. Neville further forward than we've seen him for some time. Adams. Chris Hiddink said after the match against Switzerland about Bergkamp that he'd come through the test well that particular night. Bergkamp heard about it and said to himself, what test? I've played all these games for Holland, surely I haven't been put on a one-game examination. And I think Chris Hiddink was just trying to wind up his most renowned striker and to produce a response tonight. Well, to a large extent that has worked, but other parts of the plan have fallen apart at the seams. Flat, Gascoigne. Challenged by the Cock just at the time that Gascoigne might have spotted McManaman further forward down the left. Crowd of just short of 77,000 who have had very good value for money tonight. And look at how Bergkamp created the chance here. The most delicate of looped passes. Not an easy ball for Clivert to control as it ran away from him, but control it he did with the shot, but found its way past Seaman, the two in tandem. A rare moment of joy, though, on this particular evening. And here's Fowler, who made a late run to get into the final 22. Gascoigne. He's on his way again. Geordie. Blint. Bergkamp. Not quite. More from Gascoigne to Fowler. Seedorf. Neville can let it go. Seaman can let it go if he wants, but he doesn't choose to do so. It's the silent end of the ground. McManaman. Understandably, some of the runs aren't carrying quite the edge that they were earlier on, but Anderton with Barmby now. And now Neville. Gascoigne wants a touch or two. Adams. Keep ball in Dutch half. Platt. A bit nervy, a bit rusty perhaps. But Platt will go in and get it again. Some Ole's as Holland, you feel now, have finally shot their bolt. They've put a lot into it to try and repair the extensive damage caused by, well, maybe Fusidink will say defensive weaknesses. England will say exceptional finishing. Second goal was absolutely priceless at the start of the second half. Gascoigne teasing Bofada, and referee telling him he could have the advantage. Gascoigne was lamenting about the attentions from the Dutch defender, Anderton. Adams. McManaman. Barmby's pass. Fowler. Is that going to be another penalty? No. To Barmby's great disappointment. We're into the last 5 minutes. England lead by 4 goals to 1. And there's no doubt that this has been one of their greatest performances of modern times. A real show put on in the showpiece setting of Euro '96, the famous Wembley Stadium itself. They were yelling for more here, the England fans, and there was contact on the ball as Barmby fell from the defender, who was Johan de Kock. Gascoigne. Southgate sensibly knocking it away. I suppose the only disquieting note about England's progress in this tournament to this point has been their lack of relationship with some of the media, the tabloid press. Communication has been down to the bare essentials. Journalists who are now going to have to reach into their lexicons for superlatives. That's a free kick against England with 3 minutes to go. England fans are crying even worse than Scotland, but I'm wondering about Scotland's performance tonight and whether another goal here might really have great significance. Seedorf, Kluivert, it's going to drop over. Confirmation of the attendance. Well, I've been privileged to commentate on England for the best part of 15 years now, and particularly in England, I've not witnessed anything quite as emphatic when it has mattered by the England national team. Gascoigne. Is there going to be a final word? I think most of the crowd are very happy with what England have got. Maybe it would be greedy to look for a 5th. Came off Platt's head. Kluivert couldn't go for the ball, he would have been deemed active. Gascoigne. Neville taking a chance he wouldn't have done earlier. Southgate's going to get booked for that. Tackle from behind on Bergkamp. Well, really came from a bit of overindulgence by Gary Neville on the right-hand side. Suddenly England were having to defend with a bit more urgency, and Southgate's very disappointed. It's taken the gloss off his night. But it's another moment of elasticity from Bergkamp. How elusive he's been in a losing cause. Not quite sure what the free kick was all about, but it's taken us into time added on. Well, England football, in a football sense, came into this tournament as a land of hope. Tonight it's been the land of glory. Darren Anderton for Gascoigne. It hasn't totally been his show. Here he is again though from Platt. Some of the team want to just run down the clock. Others, particularly the substitutes, Barmby and Fowler, want some service up front. I don't think they're going to get it though. This is against Holland, remember. England are keeping the ball and making their illustrious opponents chase and run. And rue the fact that they haven't been able to take their opportunities tonight. Alan Shearer and Teddy Sheringham there. Holland were in the game until the salvo of England goals at the start of the second half. Shearer's penalty, the only score in the first half, and then Sheringham's header. Shearer again, Sheringham again, 4-0 before Kluivert finally got one back for Holland. It has been a display of the highest order from the host nation, and the Dutch, who came here with hopes of staying at Wembley for the quarter-finals, are now wondering if they've stayed in the competition. They'll be waiting for news from Villa Park to that end. But what we can tell you here is that England have topped the group. They have topped it in the grand manner, and they will play Spain in the quarter-final here at the weekend.